What's up, YouTube? I'm back. It's Brando. I told you I'll be coming back at y'all with more content. I just been taking a social media fast. I'm trying to find myself, getting the Word of God, spending time with family, just doing what I got to do off camera. But I told y'all, as I promised, I'm back with more content. I'm more sufficient. I'm back. I'm just trying to find myself, and I'm coming back at y'all. I definitely appreciate all the subscribers once again. Make sure y'all give this video a like, give it a comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about it. But I'm back today with a good topic, important topic at that, and I feel like it's really relevant to not only me, but the viewers that may be watching the culture in itself today, in today's society. I'm going to talk about why the best response is no response. And I had to tell myself this over time as I've grown and matured and becoming an adult. When I was young, I used to give a lot of things and people responses, and even to this day I still do, but I realize sometimes, every time that I give these people the responses that may be trying to get energy out of me, what they're doing is they draining me. It's not really building me up. It's not helping me become a better version of myself. It's actually decreasing me mentally and physically. It's draining me. So, with me giving them the response that they looking for, it's actually helping them instead of helping me. So I feel like, okay, let's say a person might provoke me out of anger, or they might bother me at a job or in the workplace, or it might be even when I was in school or whatever it may be. These people are called energy vampires, and we got to be very vigilant and mindful of who they may be and who we might be around. It could even be family members. Narcissistic people, these are not the people, they carry these traits where they don't care about you, they care about what they can get from you, and it's no matter if it's material or energy based or what's internal. And that's what you're giving them when you give them feedback on everything they do and say. Not saying you don't have to protect yourself or give the right to express yourself, because that's something I do very wholeheartedly. I do say what I feel at all times, and I'll stand vigilant, I stand firm on that. But it's just everybody don't deserve that feedback. Everybody don't deserve the back and forth, negotiations, or should I say the back and forth wordplay, or if it's an argument or things like that. Not to make myself, or I don't encourage you guys to make yourself superior to anyone, because that would be out of an egotistical aspect, and God doesn't want us to operate like that. But He also doesn't want us to feud and fight, because some things are just left unsaid, or that's to me, in my opinion, that's enough said right there. Sometimes not talking is talking enough. There's certain people, when you don't speak to them, when you leave them where they is, they kind of get the memo after a while. And a lot of y'all might refer to that as silent treatment. Me, I look at it like, I leave them where you stand. If we don't see eye to eye, if you might disagree with me, or if it's a disrespect, but it's not like physical or something like that. You can have your opinion on me, think what you want, say what you want. That's cool, but it is what it is. I don't got to go back and forth. And I've had a lot of altercations like this, even with people in my family. I just sometimes I'm getting more mature, and I'm growing now. I'm understanding that a lot of people do this because sometimes they're insufficient within themselves, so they look at you as like, okay, they might see something in you that they don't have in themselves, which is the security, a staff foundation, a primary foundation. They see that I might be going, not just me, but you all too. So don't just take it like I'm just talking about myself. I am using myself for an example in the things I've been through and the people I'm around, I've been around. But they may see me as an example of someone that could shine the light and give a lot of moral compass, and give a lot of morality and integrity, and more substance than they can. They don't see that in themselves. And they lack the self-identity that I have. So, all of these things are as a threat to them internally. Not only just visually, but it's visual, and also on an internal aspect where it makes them jealous, envious, and their ego get in the way, where they just like, okay, I gotta do something to break them down. I gotta get some feedback out of them some kind of way. I gotta, poke them and see if I could poke the bear. I gotta see if I could, get that type of initial response that I'm looking for. And remain vigilant of these people, because sometimes they can be a downfall when you really think you're giving them that response, or you really think you up on them, or it's a even playing field. It's really not. So, you just gotta, that's my message that I'm giving y'all, understand that everything doesn't need a response. Everybody don't deserve that. That's just me, my personal aspect. Of course, some may disagree, but I encourage you, if you're on a higher frequency in life, if you know what you're called to do, and you know that, everyone, of course, no two people are made alike, so of course you may have disagreements, and it's cool to disagree. It's cool to agree to disagree. I ain't saying it's not. No one 100% agree on everything, but if it's a fair relationship, or whether it's intimate, a friendship, a family relationship, and you guys just totally, you can see that there's differences in jealousy and envy and narcissism and things like this, and you guys just could never see eye to eye, and it just won't work out. I would encourage you to depart from these people, pray for them, and at the same time, don't give them that feedback and the back and forth aspects, because that's what they feed off of. And as I mentioned before, that energy, these people are energy vampires, and we don't want them to get that type of authoritative action over our life, because that's what they'll be getting when we constantly going back and forth. We'll be the ones drained. They won't be drained, because this is what they get a rush off of. They get a thrive off of this nonsense that we that they create. They make the situation, of course, in most cases, but by us feeding into it, they like, okay, now we got them, we won. Or it may, for a female, they're like, okay, now she in a position of control, so I can not only can I control her physically, I can do it from a mental aspect, or if it's not physically, it's definitely mental. So now I got a mind, and I got, as we do what we think, so actions come from what you think, what I'm saying? Thoughts turn to actions, should I say. So we must be mindful of what we think and what we say, because, I ask God to guard our tongue, and that's what I do every day, because, I'm really, I'm a calm person, I stay calm to as possible. I stay calm as much as possible, excuse me, y'all. But I'm a firecracker when I can be, and if you know me, you know that personally. But that's why I encourage people. I don't say this personally, but I really encourage people to just leave me be. But sometimes I gotta understand, I'm starting to understand more on the spiritual note that the enemy works through people, and people, places, and things at that. And unfortunately, it won't always be my way. Even though that I serve the Most High, a lot of these people, they don't. And some people, they will pretend to do that. But as I grow higher, and as I continue to elevate, and God puts things in my life, and He puts things on my heart, and He understands that He knows me more than I know myself. So He'll plant seeds in me that people won't have in themselves. So they'll see that before me sometimes. And even if I do know who I am, they just won't align with me, and that's okay. But the devil, he'll send his serpents and his minions to try to distract me off my missions, and that's something that I can't let happen, because not only will I be giving these people power by going back and forth, or giving the feedback and the constant responses, I'll be giving the devil power, and that's something I just can't let happen. Well, I don't encourage y'all to let happen. So that's just a quick message with this video. Moral of the day: sometimes the best response, no response. Know where you stand in life, know what you stand for. I ain't saying don't defend yourself, or don't stand up and speak the truth and speak your purpose, and understand that if you got something to say, get it off your chest. I ain't saying that, because I definitely speak the truth, and everybody that know me, they know I'm gonna say what I feel, regardless of who you may be and what it may be about. But I ain't saying hold your tongue for nobody, because that shows a sign of fear, and you shouldn't fear anyone, in my opinion, because no one is above anybody. But it's just certain situations you don't have to give any feedback, especially if it's on a, if it's not gonna go nowhere. If it's a situation, it's like it's a repetitive cycle. This has been going on for a while with the person. They can't change. They'll never see things like you. You won't see things like them. Leave it alone. Just depart, separate if you can, and just progress and keep going. Because I'm all about elevation, maturity, growth, consistency, and I'm just trying to be who I can be and who I'm called to be. I'm going higher places, and everybody ain't gonna go. We gotta understand, everybody can't go on the ship we going. We settling on our own sometimes, and sometimes it's us and God. So as we serve the Creator and we do His will, and we place here to do what He called us to do, we gotta understand that everybody in our life, or even people that don't even know us, they may see us as a threat, and what we call here to do as a threat, because the inconsistencies in their lives, won't match us, and not no one is perfect. Just because we're called here to do great things don't mean we're perfect. I'm a work in progress. I'm nowhere near perfect. I have a lot of things to work on myself on, but I'm striving. I'm maintaining. I'm still here through the struggle, and I'm still getting up every day, praying that I can be a better version of myself. Some people get up every day to strive off of this, taking down others and, maintaining that mission of chaos. They agents of chaos, so we just can't get them that authority, y'all. But yeah, so I'm gonna come back at y'all with some more content. I'm gonna stay consistent this week. I'm gonna try to be on. I'm gonna come. I got a lot more content. I got some more topics in my my notes. I gotta look and see what I can get some good dialogue on. I definitely appreciate y'all can suggest some videos in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe on this one, share it, and I'm back at y'all with some more content. I appreciate all subscribers, and y'all just stay tuned for more content.